Hi everyone, it's Sydney or Autumn Plains. Today I am revealing my new theme for Biscuit with the 2.0 update. I haven't reset, but I did change all my codes and redecorated and re-landscaped. I did stream some of the process on Twitch, but I have been playing on my own a lot in addition to the Happy Home Paradise DLC. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, feel free to follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter. Twitter will be where I post first when I'm streaming, but with that aside, let me show you new Biscuit. And we are going to start our early morning walk of the island. And first thing you see is that I am no longer in fall, but I am back in spring, where the colors are so green and vibrant. I just couldn't get really inspired with the new items to continue with the fall over the garden wall theme, at least for now. Maybe a future island I can pick that back up. I would really like that. But for this current version of Biscuit, I was more so inspired by the items to do a woodsy vintage island. As you can see with the codes that have the broken down brick and other nature things as well. That's the vibe I was going for. Hopefully it pays off, and that's what you see. To our immediate right, we have Azalea's house, which is not completed yet, so I'm not going to show you the rest of that. And over here, we have the cruiser bike, which is one of my favorite new items. I like to imagine that maybe Pete or anybody else that would be in charge of delivering the residents' mail kind of like took a break at the front of the island, sat the little bag and letters down, and just enjoyed the scenery. And over here, as the sign says, we have our log bridge that leads to resident services, which I have mostly hidden by trees, but on the log bridge you can definitely see it peekaboo through there. I wanted the log bridge on the pond in front of there just to kind of give a little nod back to me having a bridge in front of resident services before, but I also believe that it completes the feeling of having a neighborhood built into the nature that's already there. I am going to take a little detour over to the left side of the island really quick. This is in no way finished, but I did want to show what I have done. I plan on making Nook's Cranny an outdoor sort of greenhouse with lots of plants and flowers. I think it's very fitting with the springtime tulip decoration outside. I do wish this was an item that we got to have as players, but alas. And this bridge I originally had wider, but I did remember that we can make tiny bridges. I will try my best to link a guide that I found that shows you what dimensions that you need to make these bridges. You can also make them diagonally. So if I don't have that posted in the description, please badger me for that, because these tiny bridges are oh so cute. And we have some houses down there. Didn't mean to peekaboo them. But over here we have my finished Peninsula, which I can't remember which user. I believe it was either Elmleif or Mablesapron, but in my Instagram post I did credit them. If I keep this the way that it is exactly, I'm probably just going to change things like the Turkey Day casserole to the spring variant, which has green colors in it instead of orange. And I'm going to lead us back to the resident services to finish off the rest of the tour. And speaking of, I have it mostly nestled in cliff and trees on the back as well, with two different ways to go. You can either go left or go right. For now, I'm going to go left. And up this way, I have a little area inspired by RosieHorizons and their new island, Buttercup. They had a little ranch area that had these Aries rocking chairs and the flowers and weeds and a path maybe similar to this. I don't remember exactly. I probably won't keep this area, at least not in the way that it currently is. I have built up and torn down this area so many times, it's not even funny. And the only part I like is this little fence and gate thing with the backwards incline. Speaking of RosieHorizons, they did make this sign with the duck on it. And please don't feed your local ducks bread, it is bad for them. It fills them, but it does not give them the nutrition they need. Instead, give them frozen peas. And while we are down here, this is how I've decorated my museum. Again, inspired by another person. The terraforming around here was heavily inspired by SundubuKimchi and their Spring Core Island. I can definitely link their socials down below. I liked how they had all the trees and whatnot, kind of hiding how big the museum is and letting it fit into how natural their island was. To the right, I have what I'm working on as a flower valley that leads you to this Woodland Circle where Goldie's house is. My original inspiration for the other Woodland Circle came from Mirkwoodmoth, aka Leah. Hi, how you doing if you're watching? But I decided to change it a little bit to fit the terraforming here, so it's not exactly in a perfect circle like the other version that I had made was. I also took inspiration from the previous YouTube video where I did a tour of Luna. And Luna had fauna right by their secret beach. And I just thought that was so cute. Now the secret beach itself, that was, as far as I'm aware, an original idea. I kind of just wanted to keep these overgrown little things like the codes and the flowers over here, but also make it a fishing area so that way it would fit and not clash too much when Red brings his boat around. So I used things like the fishing tourney item. I have this log chair to match with the new party lights arch. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but you can get it through your Nook stop for Nook miles. And then here we have another backwards incline, which leads us to one of my favorite, if not my favorite new villager, Sasha. He deserves everything. So I gave him his own little garden. I almost called it a farm. But I wanted it to be more so a garden like Rabbit has his garden in Winnie the Pooh. And so you can see that I have arranged the new 2.0 items in such a way that it's very reminiscent of like a vintage kind of garden. And here we have the tiny library acting as a mailbox, and again with that theme of maybe somebody's riding around and delivering the residents their mail. And if you're looking for these bunny day items, they're not craftable recipes, so you don't have to deal with zipper. I believe it is late March, so around the 27th, 28th, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, your Nook's shop, the actual shop, will be selling these these Bunny Day items. They were from last year's Bunny Day. At least I think it was 2020's Bunny Day. Anyways, if you go down through the pagoda, you are taken to Maple's house, where I have started to build her an apiary. I'm using the orange marmalade on top of the Nordic low table as like a place for her to have her jars of honey. Hopefully we get other jar items that have honey in it instead, but for now the orange marmalade is so very perfect for that. And then going down this incline brings us back to resident services, where Shino and Poppy are hanging out. Hello. So that does bring us to the end of our tour. Oh, I waved. Thank you all so much. Oh, look at her. Thank you all so much for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure having you along. And again, if you want to keep up with me and what I'm doing with any islands that I'm working on, I only have the one Switch, but I am known to reset a lot. I don't want to reset again because with the new update, it is going to be very hard to unlock things like the roost and cabin. So I am making it my mission to stick with this island no matter what form it is in. But anyways, if you want to keep up with that, my socials will be linked in the description down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Bup bup buppity buppity boo. Ba-la-ba-bup. Bup 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 bup. Bup 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 bup. Thank you.